This is the best moments of the Barbecue Central show in 10 minutes or less. Ever wish you could re-listen to your favorite interview or segment? Do you enjoy hearing older shows for the first time in years? Then the best moments of the Barbecue Central show in 10 minutes or less is just what you need. Thanks for listening and enjoy the show.
Welcome to another edition of the best moments of the Barbecue Central show in 10 minutes or less. I'm your host, John Solberg, and this edition is being brought to you by The Butcher Shop. The Butcher Shop is home of the A9 briskets, where they are always handpicked for you. This father and son team has operated this retail meat market in Pensacola, Florida for the past 15 years. Kevin and Jordan ship nationwide to the biggest names in barbecue. The A9 brisket won both sides of the American Royal Cook-Off. That happened in 2019. They also ship some of the finest prime, dry-aged, Australian Wagyu, and Japanese Wagyu steaks to people just like you and me who aspire to be the kings of their backyards. The Butcher Shop always has Berkshire, Compart Duroc, Allegiance Duroc, and Prairie Fresh all-natural pork in stock, and again, always handpicked for you. Venison, bison, elk, camel, even ostrich. Have you been searching for those 10 to 12-pound boneless turkey breasts featured on How to Barbecue Right? The Butcher Shop has them in stock, and they are ready to ship to you today. So whether you are looking for the best competition, briskets, ribs, or pork butts, or you just want to have a better option to cook at home, give the Butcher Shop a call today. 850-458-8782. 850-458-8782. You can also get a hold of them over at Facebook, facebook.com/thebutchershop, shop spelled S-H-O-P-P-E. And this is what's going on in today's show from May the 1st, 2012. Greg has gathered a round table of original internet content creators and great barbecue folks. Shane Draper, Chad Ward, and Bruce McCall Jr. They were talking hot barbecue and grilling topics. We're going to jump right into the is it barbecue, is it grilling? I'd like you to note that Greg was remote on location using a headset, which is why it may sound a little bit different to you. Let's get right to it.
I'm joined by Shane Draper, Chad Ward, and Huck Jr. in the hut. Whiskey Bed Barbecue in the pit and getting sauced with Shane Draper. All right, next question up for bids here, guys. And we'll start with Chad Ward on this one. Chad, I had a pretty big conversation many moons ago with the likes of Meathead Goldwyn. We were debating whether barbecue and grilling are one and the same. And I wanted to get everybody's opinion on the panel here because I like to see who is siding with me, the right side versus the wrong side with Meathead. Here's what I maintain, that there are two different cooking methods. Meathead was maintaining that barbecue is this big all-encompassing umbrella, that somewhere grilling was falling into that. So if you use the terms interchangeably, it's not necessarily incorrect. Chad, you are a master pit master. You've won many awards. You're traveling across the country into different parts of the world. Where do you weigh out on this topic?
They are absolutely different, Greg.
Absolutely. Well, we know Chad is going to heaven. Go ahead, continue.
There is nothing that chaps my ass more than to hear, hey, come over to my barbecue. And you walk over there and some guy's got his Weber propane gas grill fired up on high on all burners, cooking some sausage, and goes, hey, we're having a barbecue. No, buddy, you're not. You're burning the shit out of something over propane, which we call grilling. So that's my personal take. There's a huge difference. I don't know where I want to draw the line. Is it 300? Is it 325? Is it 350? I don't know. But there's a difference. There's a low and slow technique, which I consider barbecue, and there's a hot and fast technique, which I consider grilling. And there's a lot of guys that, in my terms, grill like Myron and Chatham Artillery and those guys that'll cook at 350 plus on all four categories. And they're grilling in a barbecue contest. God bless them. They found a better way to skin a hog. But to me, I'm kind of a low and slow guy when it comes to that. And so I think there is a big difference between barbecue and grilling.
Shane Draper, what do you think?
Yeah, I totally agree. And I don't know if it's a temp or a technique, or do we break it out by, depending on what protein you're cooking, as to what, whether it's more grilling or smoke. I don't usually say barbecue, I say smoking, because that to me definitely gives the impression of low and slow and a lot of time. But yeah, there's a world of difference between the two. And I that pellet pit that I've got, I'll be the first to admit that I grill on it way more than I barbecue or smoke on it. But all our other pits are true smokers or barbecue pits, if you will. But yeah, there's a world of difference. But I don't know, how we classify that animal exactly to make it make sense for everyone.
Is there
Hey,
a
Greg?
specific? Yeah, go ahead, Chad.
Can I pick at Shane for a second?
Yes, go.
Shane, the easiest thing to barbecue on, quote unquote, is a pellet grill. Set it and forget it, my friend. So you should do a little. Go ahead.
For me, though, it can be easy. Don't get me wrong. I'm with you. I know it's easy. But I'm saying what I use my pellet pit for more times than not is that I can get out of my truck, working all day, walk up to it, turn it on 350, go in the house, get the meat, come back out, drop it on there, and man, it's ready. That's the beauty of a pellet pit to me. It is propane-like, but actual real flavor, and that's the way I treat mine. But you're right, man. I've done 14-hour smokes of shoulders and stuff on it, and they turned out great. But I have other pits that I prefer to do that on because they're much higher, much larger format pits.
Shane, do you have a definitive line of delineation in pit temperature to where you would consider it to be smoking or barbecue versus then going into the grilling section?
I think my gray area comes past about 275 to 300. Once you hit 300, I think you're more into that grilling temp than a smoking temp. Because there's still a lot of comp teams that are cooking for 6 hours at 275, and I would still consider that, not quite low and slow, but it's certainly not hot and fast grilling either.
Huck Jr., your opinion on where is barbecue and grilling? Are these terms synonymous? Are they completely? Are they mutually exclusive? What do you think?
They are definitely different. Unlike what Craig Meathead Goldwyn would say to you. And I totally agree with what Shane's saying. 300 degrees is where we up into the grilling atmosphere, so to speak. The barbecuing is low and slow. I have not used a pellet cooker. Would love to one day. Hint, chat. But yeah, I would say 300 is that ceiling. Hey, Greg, if I can talk about something real quick. It's just one quick thing. Make it a little interactive a little bit today. We have a commenter in the chat telling us that how come we're saying that we know who is in the Barbecue Pitmaster show, and how come you gave us a pass by not grilling us and making us telling the votes from names?
Wait a second. Rule. Look. I think everybody knows now. Rule number 2 of the show. Rule number 1 of the show. No names, please. What are we talking about? That's been a long-standing rule of the show ever since. Now, let me say this. If you sons of bitches were on here for a cooking show and you weren't giving up secrets, that's completely different. That's a barbecue roundtable. But if we're talking about names, standing rule of the show, it has been ever since I can remember. No names, please.
Listen, Greg, and this is what I want to say. When we have friends in the industry and certain players on, behind the scenes, behind the camera, know who our friends in the industry are, and if they hear us mention those particular friends in the industry that may happen to be on the show, then they're set to assume that, hey, this person divulged their NDA, which is a non-disclosure agreement. Out of respect of the show, I will not divulge any names. And to say that Huck Jr. said, Oh, yeah, I know who's in the show, but I'm not going to tell you no. Huck Jr. was asked, hey, Huck, you know anybody on the show? Yeah, Greg, I do. That was the answer. I can't divulge any names. If you tune in tomorrow night on In the Hut and you heard me say, hey, I know who's on the show, but I'm not going to tell you, that would be wrong. I did not offer up the information. I simply answered the question. That's all I got to say, Greg.
Absolutely. And again,
Now, Greg,
standing rule to
question to
no
you.
names, please. Go ahead, Chad. Yes.
Did Huck just have a take?
Huck had a take and he didn't suck. Watch out.
Huck said he was going to
but
bring it. Huck said he was going to bring it, and he effing bought it.
that's right. The top radio show is in jeopardy because Huck Jr. has his panties in a bunch and he's coming strong. All right, let's go ahead and move on to a different topic here really quick.
And there are just some of the best moments from this show from May the 1st, 2012. Head on over to the bbqcentralshow.com. Check out the rest of this episode. It's a classic. It's worth going to check out. Want to remind you, if you need some meat, take a look at The Butcher Shop on Facebook. Facebook.com/The Butcher Shop. Shop spelled SHOPPE. They've got product that they can ship to you. Get in touch with them. Until next time on the best moments of the Barbecue Central show in 10 minutes or less, I'm your host, John Solberg. I look forward to talking to you again soon.